When it comes to you enjoying Path of Exile, what is the most important decision you make? Is it your class or ascendancy? Is it the build you're gonna play? Well, in my opinion, it's your choice of league. Now, this may seem to some like the least important choice, so let me explain where I'm coming from. A brief look at Reddit or YouTube is enough to see that the most frequent complaints are about deaths being too punishing and the state of the economy. Now, these are both very valid concerns, but is the root cause here really game balance rather than our choices as players? Let's zoom out a bit and look at the de facto league most players choose, Standard League. For someone playing Standard League, the image of success looks like this: easily stomping through the highest tier maps and killing endgame bosses, and preferably stomping on those too. So success in this league is essentially ultimate success, you clearing every challenge that the game has to offer. Most people playing Standard League will expect that trading will allow them to get to their desired point way faster than other leagues. Standard League also means that the only obstacle to getting to your goals is currency. This constant feeling of being held back by some silly thing like currency creates frustration and a feeling like you should be progressed further but are being held back. So you end up either pushing content difficulty beyond your character's ability or simply being overwhelmed by frustration that the game's economic inflation is effectively gatekeeping you. So if we look at what playing Standard League really means, it is not I get to progress the game at a steady pace and achieve my goals in a timely manner, but instead, there is opportunity for me to skip a lot of the grind, but I will be punished if I'm not among the wealthiest and sweatiest players in the game. You can see how this starts to work against the reason for playing Trade League in the first place, which most people pick so that they can avoid crazy amounts of grinding. But for what I believe to be the majority of players, the issues with Standard League don't stop there. Let's go for another zoom out and go back in time. 20 plus years ago, I had the best gaming experiences in my life. I'd go to my friend's place, put a Driver 1 CD into the PS1, and my friend and I would bash our heads against certain missions. I remember we spent entire play sessions not being able to get out of the parking lot on the first mission. Then, sometime later, my friend got a Game Shark CD, if anyone remembers those, that had cheats, and we were like, oh shit, look at all the stuff we can do. We can just be gods in the game. We can shortcut the game and just get through it with no hassle and way faster. And very, very quickly, the game CD literally became a piece of trash. Like, we actually threw it out the window. And this is something to do with human psychology. We think we want success, but really, what we find satisfying is to overcome challenges, especially in things we do in our spare time, like gaming. Life doesn't have an obvious feedback loop to make us realize we're skipping out on rewarding experiences. Using cheats in a single-player game is obviously not the same as playing Trade League in Path of Exile, but for some people, it can lead to very similar feeling outcomes. I think personally, I was lucky that I discovered the satisfaction of playing hardcore back in Diablo 3 days, and I never engaged with any trading because I just wasn't bothered. I simply enjoyed thousands of hours of the game. So when I started with Path of Exile 2, I went straight for hardcore to give myself that same excitement, and I chose SSF because, once again, I only cared about experiencing the game, and I'm just too lazy to arrange trades. And guess what? I f***ing love the game. It's an absolute pleasure to log in and play every single minute, despite it initially taking me 315 hours just to get to my first map. But not at any point was I ever frustrated with my progress. I only felt immense satisfaction with every step I took forward. My perseverance even influenced one of my friends, who is a die-hard Trade League player, to try SSF Hardcore for himself, and he even made a great video about his experience, which you can find linked in the description. Now, I saw videos of people having far more progression than me, even on SSF Hardcore, and I thought to myself, one day, Quinn and I are gonna kill endgame bosses too. This is exactly what made World of Warcraft an incredible gaming experience back in the day. Seeing someone in full best-in-slot gear standing in Ironforge and thinking, one day I will earn gear like that on my character and be that cool guy. Important accent here on the feeling of earning it, rather than feeling held back by arbitrary actors. Do you feel challenged and accomplished grinding enough exalts or divines to buy your items? Now, it's completely fine if you do, but some people won't, and the latter group is who I hope this video speaks to. This focus on the destination that makes the journey feel like a barrier to happiness is so prevalent in a lot of today's games, and I feel like it is exactly the case with Path of Exile Standard League. Thankfully, some games still allow us to experience the joy of the journey to success, which is what's truly aligned with satisfaction in human nature, and why I think Classic WoW is so popular nowadays, because the game is all about the journey for everyone, and blends the things we love so much about RPGs with being able to compete against others in a way where one does not impede the other. Yes, in classic WoW, you're still happy to get to max level, but it's not a feeling of relief, it's a feeling of accomplishment. But rejoice gamers, we are in luck because Path of Exile has game modes which are focused on the journey. All that remains is for you to pick the one that will give you the most satisfying experience. I am still a Path of Exile noob with relatively low progress and nothing but aspiration to one day reach my goals, and I couldn't feel any better about the game. Every step I take towards my ultimate goal feels satisfying. The exact same satisfaction I felt from WoW back when I was a teenager. And I don't know about you, but to me, at my age and the world we're living in, this kind of gaming experience is absolutely priceless. And it's all down to solo self-found Hardcore League, which is hands down the right league for me. The right league for you might be a different one, but I believe that this choice will be by far the most impactful to how much you enjoy your time spent in the game. With this video and channel overall, I hope to bring to light this more subtle way to enjoy games, and to be honest, many other things in life. This way which hides in plain sight, because those who do it by default are just happy and you don't hear from them. So instead, we end up hearing a lot from people who are either frustrated or on the path of getting there, and the de facto way of doing things becomes the way that leads us all to the same place. This is also why I love seeing comments from those struggling in SSF or Hardcore, or people asking questions about how to overcome certain challenges, instead of just sinking a bunch of divines into a herald build. This shows that people out there still value the journey, and we can all experience this magic together and build a community which helps these great values see the light of day.